I'd like to share with you today a couple of dreams that mean a lot to me because they both came true, and it explains some of the timing in, as we said yesterday, in the Seven Valleys, when Baha'u'llah talks about perhaps after 10 years you see your dream in this world, but it's not always 10 years. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's later. So these two examples are dreams that came true right away. One is that when I went to college, I was 35 years old, so I had long been on my own, supporting myself, and I had to pay for college, which meant I also had to work while I was going to school. So I was working 35 hours a week, taking a full credit load of 18 credits, going to class, and there literally wasn't time to do all of the work because each professor gives you homework as if they're your only professor, and you have that many more classes, so you have that much more work. So I would say my evening prayers and I would tell Baha'u'llah, I literally don't have time to do the research, but I want to do well because excellence in all things, especially for Baha'is, and being 35 years old, I wanted to be a good example. So I said, you'll have to help me out by doing the research. I'll do the work, I'll write the papers, I'll go to class, but you've got to help me out here. So I would go to sleep and I would have a dream, and in the dream I would see a book with the title very clearly, and then the next thing I would see would be the page number, and then it would focus in on a certain paragraph of that page. So I knew that the next day I could go to the library, and I didn't even have time to look for the book, so I would ask the librarian, do you have such and such a book? They would go and get it, bring it to me. I had no idea if the book even existed, but I just trusted that Baha'u'llah was helping me, so the librarian would go and get the book, I'd bring it home, open it to that page, there would be that paragraph, and I would just plug it into whatever paper I was working on, and that's how I got helped during my college career. Somebody said, oh, you were cheating, but I think of it as Baha'u'llah tells us to ask in prayer for what we want. It's conversation with God. That's what prayer is, conversation. And just like you would ask a friend to help you if you needed something, I consider the central figures of my faith my friends. So I ask, and if I receive, I say thank you. So that's one story that happened immediately. The other one is I used to be a nanny for two little brothers, and I took care of them for 4 years, starting when the youngest was 5 months old. When he turned 2, it was almost as if somebody flipped a switch, and he just started speaking in full sentences. Had never done that before, had just, said little words and sounds, but all of a sudden these full sentences were coming out of him. Well, about a week after his birthday, I was in my home, asleep, dreaming, not about him or his brother, just having my own dream, and all of a sudden, into my dream broke this little boy, this little 2-year-old, and he was calling me so urgently that it scared me to death. The image I had was his little face was forward, and he had 2 little fists behind his back, like this, and he was going, Senan! He couldn't say my name, Sue Ellen, so he was going, Senan! Senan! And I woke up and I looked at the clock. It was only 5 o'clock in the morning, so I couldn't call his parents to find out what was going on. I thought, well, if something really is happening to him, they'll call me and I won't go to work, or I'll go later. Well, nothing happened, so my usual time I went to work and I got there and everything seemed normal. So for the 4 years that I took care of these boys, every morning at snack, I would just casually ask them, did anybody have any dream last night? Because I wanted them to have access to the dream world and to understand it and know that it was a real world and it wasn't just something that was happening while they were sleeping, and they could talk to me or whoever they wanted to about their dreams. So this morning was no different. I just casually said at snack, so did anybody have any dreams last night? And this little 2-year-old, without missing a beat, says, yes, I dreamed about you. I was calling you. And he put his body in the same position, made 2 little fists, put them behind his back, leaned forward and said, I was calling you. I said, Senan! Senan! And I said to him, well, you know what? I heard you and I saw you. I was asleep in my home, having my own dream. You broke right into my dream. And I said, what did you want that was so important that you had to do that? He said, I want to go to the museum today. I said, fine, we can do that. And we went to the museum. So I think talking with your children about dreams, even as a teacher I did this with students, it's very important. And even with very young children, a class of 2-year-olds, I had them make dream catchers because they were interested in spiders and webs. So I connected this curriculum to what they were already interested in. And I made these dream catchers with them, and the whole time we were making them, I just talked to them about dreams. And often children have nightmares and they don't know what to do with them, and they don't really understand what a dream is. So I told them, if you have a nightmare, you can invite somebody into your dream, somebody that you love, somebody that you trust, somebody that you feel safe with. You can invite them into your dream for help. So I had this class with these 2-year-olds. About 3 or 4 months later, I was taking care of one of the children for her parents. And she said to me over dinner, we were just sitting talking, and she said to me, you know, Sue Ellen, I did what you said. And I said, what do you mean? She said, I had a dream and I was scared, and I told my father, I want you to come into my dream and help me. And I said, really? And did he? And she said, yes, he came into my dream. And I said, and what did he do? She said, he took my hand and he talked with me and I was okay. And then I woke up. And I was amazed. I mean, even though I have a firm belief in dreams, this little 2-year-old who was just part of a group took that information in, applied it, and several months later remembered to tell it to me. So it was very impressive.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.